Hi, everyone. Thank you and good evening. I know it's good morning for you guys at this time, or good afternoon, but good evening from China. Um, the article I'm going to discuss today is what happens when a teacher uses meta language to teach spelling. And we're going to talk about how that can transform spelling instruction in the classroom. And this article is by Tessa Daffern, and it was written in 2017. The purpose of the study was to investigate how a teacher's use of meta language or language used to talk about language can impact students' spelling development. It speaks to a common challenge that many students, as we know, struggle with spelling, and many teachers aren't confident in teaching it dynamically, which basically means beyond rote memorization. So this article is talking about a case study that was done that was part of a larger mixed methods investigation and involved over 1,100 students aged 8 to 12. So it had a pretty good case study going on there. The article zooms in on one teacher, Mrs. Smith, and one of her students named Jane. Mrs. Smith used explicit instruction in phonological, orthographic, and morphological processes, and her students learned to talk about spelling using real linguistic terms. And let's talk a little bit about Jane's progress. Jane is a fourth grade student, and she showed strong spelling skills, especially with orthographic and morphological concepts. In small groups, she confidently used terms like suffix, phonological, and morphological knowledge. Her writing demonstrated that she could apply multiple strategies, not just sounding out words, but also recognizing patterns and meaning. So, what are the takeaways for teachers from this? First, teaching students to use meta language helps them understand, as we all talk about, the why behind spelling. They're not just memorizing it just to please us, they've got a larger purpose, which is usually pretty motivating. Second, Mrs. Smith embedded spelling lessons into authentic reading and writing. I know we're all always pressed for time, so anytime that we can integrate different subjects, and I could even definitely see integrating spelling into really pretty much any subject, but here it specifies about reading and writing because that's just the natural fit. But she used picture books like Eduardo the Horriblest Boy to teach patterns like ER and EST. She also differentiated instruction. High achieving spellers explored word origins and affixes. And I would like to say that's one of those things that I know this article references high achieving spellers, which is I see the point in why they did this for this study, and why this teacher did this, but I think it's so incredibly important to teach word origins and affixes that I would hope that we would share that with all our students, even if they're not the high achieving spellers. Obviously, we need to differentiate for that group of students as well, but I think all students should receive instruction in that because it's so incredibly important to know those roots. Struggling students received scaffolded support, with rhyming and letter patterns. And this connects with the idea of what we've been learning about, that metalinguistic awareness is essential for literacy development. Now, some critiques of the article. This is a single case study, and even though it had a pretty large study group for a case study of this kind, it can't be generalized to every classroom. And I think we all know it would be extremely rare to find a case study, even with an incredibly large sample size, could be generalized to every classroom. But that is something that we need to think about. 1,100 people is a large study, but obviously can't carry everything. However, its strength lies in how vividly it illustrates the metacognition theory in action. Mrs. Smith's practices align with research on best practices, explicit instruction. She gives her student agency and also strategy based teaching. So, here are two questions that we can think about from this article. Number one, how can we help students build a meta language for spelling, especially within a packed curriculum? And I know, I think we're probably all in this group about to start our second year of HMH. And speaking of APAC curriculum, that is definitely a word for it. I like it, but there's a lot with that. But I think we're gonna have to do some integration to be able to fit all that in. Number two, what kinds of reading and writing tasks can help students apply phonological, orthographic, and morphological strategies. Again, that's some of those combinations and or integration of subjects, and also just figuring out concrete tasks that we can give students to accomplish these goals. And one quote that I found in here that I liked from Mrs. Smith is she says, "I don't just say to students, no, this is the way you spell it." We're able to actually talk about some reasons why. And to me, that goes into, again, talking about those root words. And also, this shows a shift from correcting mistakes to helping students actually understand the language, which to me, that makes so much sense and is so valuable because that gives them the gift of being able to take that knowledge and apply it even after they leave our classrooms. Because I know we get to become we're about to meet a new group of students, and we will be a family a month from now. And you feel like they're kind of going to always be with you, but of course, our goal, kind of like as parents, is we are ultimately helping them to grow and to be able to grow and thrive without us. So we definitely want to show them skills that are transferable across different subjects and pretty much every skill there is out there. So to wrap up, this article shows that teaching spelling isn't just about memorizing word lists. It's probably how a lot of us remember it, but I mean, that's also probably why a lot of adults feel like they say, "Oh, I'm a bad speller." So to me, it's a worthwhile, uh, worthwhile task to go through and figure out different ways to do it. It's about inquiry, helping students explore how language actually works, and it's pretty fascinating if you think about it. When students learn to talk about phonemes, suffixes, and patterns, they become confident, strategic spellers. So, thank you for watching. And before you go, just think about your own teaching. And I am not trying to judge anybody. I know I hate it when somebody's standing up there saying, "Well, but think about what you can do, or think about your own teaching." And we're all every day doing the best we can. But think about how you currently teach spelling, and could you integrate meta language into your lessons? I'm definitely going to use this article when we go back to school. And how might you use students' writing to guide your instruction? And to me, from a practical point, and to close on that, is man, it would be so great to have a essay that's been written and you don't have to spend so much time trying to decipher the misspelled words. So if anything else, I think that should motivate us to think about teaching spelling more intentionally, because that would just make at least if your students are like mine, that would make a huge difference in trying to grade their essays. So anyway, thank you, and again, sorry if I sound kind of mixed up. It's about 1:30 in the morning here on China time. But I will see you guys later, and thank you. Bye.